Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. I'm Zemore, the dad in DPS, and today we're reviewing a weapon from Skyline Valley, and this one is probably my most anticipated one of all of them, for multiple reasons, but we'll go into that in a little second. Either way guys, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. So today's weapon is the V63-Bertha, with 2-shot, faster fire rate, and reload speed. Now, the hidden effect on Bertha is the ammo capacity is doubled. And the great thing about this is that then means you get the extra 25% damage from 2-shot, as well as your arcing damage. So this weapon is incredibly good at causing as much AoE damage as possible. It's going to arc around corners, it's going to arc everywhere. This is potentially something that could take the throne of the quad weapon speed, reload speed version of this gun that I have. And I'm really excited to use it because I genuinely think this is a fantastic weapon. I think Tesla rifles are a fantastic weapon in general, but this is just a god roll. You know, you could argue they could have made it better with having either anti-armor, bloodied, any other like damaging effect. But I really love 2-shot, and you never know, they might buff that in the future. Either way, guys, let's see the build we're using. Now, this is the build. It's just to maximize the energy damage and commando damage that we are doing. Nothing specifically, ridiculous and out there on here. Don't take too much heed in the build. I just like playing around with this. This is just a utility kind of wandering around thing. Either way, let's see the damage. Alrighty, so we are at White Springs. Now, the reason I went to White Springs is because this weapon is best used when you have the ability to, hit multiple enemies. And the great thing about the Tesla rifle in general is that you can just fire it into walls, you can fire it into ceilings, you can fire it into all manner of different things. You don't even need to directly aim at the enemies to get the damage. And you're seeing here that we're taking these things down, and we're taking multiples of them down without using like the full clip. The reload speed's not bad. I can just blast into the air and I don't need to hold it down. It is a very good weapon for using against multitudes and rows of enemies that just toss themselves at you. Granted, one thing I will say is that this weapon will go through ammo like nobody's business. It is not a weapon you use if you are too worried about your ammo, but you can also use it quite effectively in VATS. It will go through your AP really quickly, but the fact is, because you are hitting AoE with it and you're hitting multiple enemies, it's also not AoE that damages you. It bounces around you and doesn't affect you in the slightest. You can pretty much just maximize your damage and just absolutely annihilate any enemies that come your way. Jesus Christ, they knocked me into the Phantom Zone there. The one disadvantage of the weapon is durability. Like, durability and like ammo capacity have always been the problem with these weapons. But because it's on double, because of that, it's just very good at what it does. Granted, it isn't the best damage, but against what it's meant to be used against, large groups of enemies, it does incredibly well. And combine that with Tormentor, and it also, breaks all their limbs. And with any of these videos, we are here with Jeff. Now, I'm going to wait for Jeff to wake up because he doesn't really take damage for a little bit after you've woke him up. So we'll go into VATS and get ready to spam the living daylights of this into his brain. And you're seeing, like, the damage. It's nearly taken him out, like, in one clip. And then we just fire the rest of the second one in, and Jeff is dead. Now, imagine that against multiple enemies, because I'm going to be doing that damage to all of them. Like, it bounces around. So if I had a group of 10 super mutants, it would take 10 of them down just as easily as it takes the first one down. The Tesla rifle is such a good weapon for large groups of enemies. And you're seeing even like super mutant behemoths don't stand a chance against it. And after that, we come to the Mirelurk Queen. Now, normally, I would, run around killing everything here, but there's no point. There's no point with this weapon. Like, if I want to kill the Queen, I just aim it at her, and if anything dares get anywhere near me, it absolutely annihilates them. It's just, Bertha is the better version of this weapon. It is potentially the definitive version of this weapon, because it's already doing more damage per standard shot to a regular quad, which is one of the only real viable Tesla rifles in my opinion. And because your ammo capacity is just that bit more, it's so fun. It's so usable. This is one of the best weapons they could have given for the end of an event. This is a god roll and then some. It is just the chef's kiss. Now we head into daily ops, or rather expeditions, and you're seeing this weapon is capable of absolutely annihilating these enemies with absolutely no effort whatsoever. And between killing 2 enemies, I just got all my ammo back. If I wanted to kill them in crits with VATs, then they just instantly die. This weapon is fantastic at killing large groups of enemies, and that's when the real kind of benefit of it comes out. Against single targets, you are not using the full viability of this weapon, so I just usually tell people to refrain from using it in single fire if they can. Granted, it's not always viable to single shot people, but you will find that in a lot of cases you're coming up against enemies that you can just, fire around a corner at them. Like, I don't even need to see an enemy to hit them. I can just hit them from a distance without paying attention to where they are and what they're doing. And as a result, even enemies that I don't see die, which then gets me more ammo, gets me all manner of different things. Now, because this weapon is essentially just a more powerful version of a standard Tesla rifle, but with an additional effect of double on top of it, you aren't going to go through as much ammo as you would if you were using a quad, which is arguably the best version of this weapon. Like, a quad faster fire rate and reload speed is arguably the best version of this gun. But that might not be the case anymore. This could be the definitive version of this weapon. This could be the version that I tell people to get. And to be honest, because of how easy it is to acquire in comparison to a quad, it probably will be the version of the weapon that I encourage people to find instead. Because what would you rather have? Something that you could spend forever rolling for, or something that you can just pick up from an event? This is such a good gun for absolutely no effort. And it doesn't baffle me, but it genuinely surprises me how well this one is made. And I would say that this is potentially the best roll that you can now get on any Tesla rifle in the game. I arguably don't know if quad beats this. I would have to test them side by side to know that, and that might be a video for a later time. But if you don't have this weapon and you like using Tesla rifles, then it's definitely worth finding, picking up, and using it, because you're going to notice your ammo efficiency goes through the roof. So that was the V63-Bertha. Now, I think this one is definitely, arguably, the best Tesla rifle in the game now. The only thing that technically competes with it is the quad faster fire rate reload speed. And that is literally the only weapon of Tesla rifles, rather, that can compete with this. I don't think anything else comes remotely close. As a result, this is possibly one of the best drops that you can get from the new events, and the only real downside to it is the same downside all Tesla rifles have. It has really poor durability. It breaks quite effectively, every half an hour, 30 minutes if you're using constant firing. So you will have to repair it a lot. But for what you get out of it, I don't think that's necessarily a bad trade-off. It is just a perfect weapon for events like Moonshine Jamboree, Radiation Rumble, anything that has a horde aspect to it where you are fighting a lot of enemies in the one go. And with fusion cells being the primary ammo for it, it's relatively easy to, spend enough, ammo, enough stuff to craft ammo. It's just very easy to make the ammo for it these days and get ammo for it. So I think overall it's just a very, very good weapon. I'm shocked at how good it actually is, because I love Tesla rifles. I really, really love Tesla rifles. And this might be my new favourite Tesla rifle in the game. And until I test this against a quad side by side, I really don't know which one's better. Either way, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time in the Wasteland.
Through the dark, moonlight's dimly shedding, a shadow creeping. Feel your heart entwining, a twisted mind, seeking prey to devour. In the dead of the night, he gains more power. His bloodshot